Hello, 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 my friends. I'm hoping all of this is working. My mic was a little weird at first, but today I want to talk about retreats. And for those of you who may not know me, who might come upon this recording and you don't know who I am, I'm Dottie Posto. I am a coach. I am a leadership development consultant, team development consultant, change management consultant, and a coach. And I coach women in burnout. I coach women who are in burnout, on the brink of burnout. So they're professionally, they're leaders, they're successful, but their stress is off the charts. They're in overwhelm. They are not feeling great. They are getting all sorts of unexplained issues, skin issues, digestive issues, sleep issues. They can't fall asleep. They can't stay asleep. They're tired. They're exhausted all the time. They're beginning to get to that point where they just don't give a shit anymore. It's like, whatever, do whatever. They're caring of, some of the outcomes are just not where they normally are. And I help them restore their mind, their body, their spirit, so that they can love their life again. And so the reason I want to talk about retreats today, two reasons, is one, I have a virtual retreat this evening, and I am going to put a link to that retreat in the comments here. So I'm hoping you'll be able to see this. When you view the recording, the comments come up as the recording comes in. So I'm posting this and I'm going to show it on screen here so you can actually see it. So even if you don't see the comments, you'll see it here. This is the link to the virtual retreat. And it isn't the link to the registration. What you'll need to do is to click on the registration link when you get to that page. This is the page for all of the workshops. So I thought you might want to know about other workshops. There are other things happening throughout the months leading up into the Dare to Be Aware Fair. So if you click register, that will take you to the Eventbrite page. It is free. So that's part of the reason. The other thing is that when I coach, I usually include a retreat as part of my coaching package. And eventually, I'm hoping to do group retreats, group coaching, which will then lead to group retreats. So that link there is for a virtual retreat this afternoon or this evening from 7 to 8:30 Central. That's US Central Time. So I'll put that back up later again before I leave. The retreat I had planned in October was going to be in Maine. That's the second reason I wanted to kind of talk about retreats, is that I'm doing a retreat in October. And now what I need to figure out is the location that I was supposed to be using is not available. And so I have to figure out, and there is a very good chance that I will do the retreat in Wisconsin, because trying to find another location in Maine, I'm going to check it out, but there's a good chance that I'm not going to be able to find something this late. And I may not find something this late even in Wisconsin. So we'll see. But I heard about a couple different places. And if you know of a retreat venue that has October 17th to the 20th open, otherwise, if I can't find a venue, then for the folks who have signed up for, who are supposed to be ready, we'll do something else. We'll figure it out. But anyway, so I did want to talk about retreats, because retreats can be a great place to start. And I want to first look at the definition of retreat. We look at retreat really has two different meanings. It can mean an act of moving back or withdrawing, like we hear about retreat in the military sense, that when there is a defeat, or somebody is overwhelmed, like team, a core of military people are overwhelmed with the enemy, they retreat, or, and they regroup. And that's really, that second part of the meaning is more like a mindful break. And that's part of what that retreat can do, even in the military sense, be a break in order to regroup and re-strategize to move forward. And that's why when I say retreat, a great place, is it a great place to start? It can be a very great place to start. And why is that? What is the benefit of taking a retreat when you are in or experiencing burnout? Um, one of the reasons, one of the things that it can do for you is to really provide you rest and rejuvenation. So we can take a physical break physically away from our normal day-to-day things. It can really help to lower stress. It can improve your sleep, and it can boost your overall energy when you get that physical rest. The other thing that it does is it can provide reflection and realignment. Often in retreats, I use several different means, and we'll do a little bit of this afternoon, but this evening, we won't use photography, but often I will use photography as a means of introspection. And it might be an assignment. Maybe I'll offer that as an assignment afterwards, or not an assignment, but an opportunity to do some additional reflection. But the retreat space gives you kind of some sacred space, some space away to really reflect on what's been happening in your life, whether personal life, your professional life, and really to reassess who you are at your core. What are your preferences, your gifts, your talents, your needs? And are you living in alignment with those? That retreat can be an amazing space for that. And it can also be the third thing that retreats can do is to be a space for reinvigoration and clarity, and really to coming back to your core, coming back to your needs, your preferences, your gifts, your talents, and really renewing your sense of alignment, your sense of purpose, your sense of your authenticity, your being in alignment with you versus serving the needs of others all the time. And makes it easier to tackle changes when you return. Now, I really want to mention that retreats are a great place to start. Retreats cannot be the only means you use to recover from burnout. And why is that? Because it is a bubble. You are putting yourself in a bubble. And some people, depending on if they've not really gotten too far into burnout, or they've not been in a recurring burnout where maybe every 6 months, every couple of years, they actually re-experience burnout. If that hasn't happened, a retreat might be enough to really kind of get you back in the space. And it depends on how long the retreat actually is. However, I talk about ending burnout and resolving burnout from the inside out. When all we do is apply these outside things, yoga, meditation, retreats, spa days, all of these kinds of self-care type things, if we're not addressing our mental processes that are habitual and that come over and over and over and over, those will come back. If we're not creating the practice and really embedding over time the practices of being aware of how we're thinking, what we're thinking, so that we can shift how we look at things and shift how we respond to things and shift how much we're serving and taking care of others at the expense of ourselves. If we're not doing that mental, emotional change, then burnout's just going to come back. And then the retreat, while it's great, people often say, and I've heard this, and this happened to me in the beginning when I first started going on retreats, it would be a great place to start. And if I didn't have some sort of support ongoing, then I would fall back into my old patterns of serving other people at the expense of my own needs. And so let's just talk a little bit more about why retreats. We talked a little bit about the benefits, the rest and rejuvenation, the reflection and realignment, the reinvigoration and clarity. But what is the why around it? Part of that retreat space is it creates a safe space. It creates a sacred space. It creates a space for nurturing the group, for nurturing yourself, for nurturing your own needs, for nurturing yourself. But like I said, it cannot be the only thing you do, because while we take that space away, whether it's a long weekend, whether it's a day, whether it's a whole week, even a month probably would be a little bit better, because that gives you that time. But it still takes, our habits often, even after 1 month, our habits often come back. That's why they say it takes a minimum of 90 days to break a habit, to create a new habit, because our brain needs that time to create the new neural pathways. Now, I'm learning some things around self-hypnosis that might make that happen faster. So stay tuned. I'm not sure. And actually, a few things I've learned we will use in the retreat tonight, which, again, by the way, here's the link. And I will also make sure it stays in the comments, so that if you'd like to sign up, go to the Energize and Elevate retreat, virtual retreat on this page, and you will see at the bottom of that that description, the button to register, and that will take you to Eventbrite to register. It's free, but you get the Zoom link when you register. So there you have it. What else? Wanted to talk about the next reason, another reason that retreats are so why they're so beneficial as a starting point, how they can be that perfect starting point to overcome burnout, is that you are taking that first step forward. You are kind of saying to yourself, I'm going to make a shift. And so you're starting that inertia, that forward movement. I heard somebody say yesterday, I was at an event, and someone, I think it was yesterday, it might have been earlier in the week or last week, but someone talked about how too many women won't admit they're in burnout. Or they wait so long till the exhaustion, the health issues have taken such a toll on their mental and physical being that they just want to opt out. They just want to quit their jobs, when that necessarily might not be the right thing to the best thing for you. And maybe in the next slide, we'll talk about how just changing jobs isn't always the right answer. Sometimes it is. Sometimes there's so much going on in a work environment that one person changing, or even several people changing, isn't going to make a difference. And that's what yesterday I was talking to someone, and she said when she works on culture and when she works on trying to resolve burnout, she always starts with the CEO and their direct reports, the senior leadership team, because that kind of change, if there are cultural elements, has to start from the top down. However, burnout is still an inside out game. It's not everybody else's problem. It's not what everybody else is doing. And so the retreat, why are they the perfect starting point? They create that safe space to just kind of let your guard down, to let that wall down, as Brene Brown would say, to let your armor down and allow yourself to be seen, not just by the others in the group, which can be a powerful catalyst for change. It is also a very powerful way when you drop that armor, when you drop the wall around your heart, which I know for me in the retreats that I've been in can be challenging, because we've been armored up. As Brene Brown says, we've been armored up for so long. But taking that first step and allowing that armor to drop can be that first step in building that momentum for change. And so I really encourage you, click the link below. If you're watching this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, DM me and let me know if you're interested in a retreat somewhere here in Wisconsin. It's most likely where it's the one in October will be. If I can get a little further north where we are, seeing beautiful colors, that's my goal. That was part of the point of going to Maine, which we can't do anymore. But please, let's, come this evening. Let me give you just a taste, a 90-minute taste of how this can be a step forward. And, comment where you've been on retreats, what you love about retreats. My life has been so dramatically changed from retreats. Some of the retreats that I've been on, I started going on retreats when I was a teenager and was involved in our youth group. And I did retreats as an adult with teenagers for the teen action group at the church I used to belong to. I've done transformational retreats, long weekends that have just literally and powerfully changed my life. And it was the starting point. And I actually hired a coach to help me continue to integrate and to sustain the shifts that I've made in those retreats. So join us tonight. Again, here's the link. I'll show it one more time. It will be in the comments in this recording. If you're watching the replay, just type replay in the comments. Let me know what kind of struck you in the recording. And that's it for this week. Hopefully you can join us this evening, Wednesday, August 28th, 7 p.m. Central. If you want to DM me to get the registration link, feel free to do that. If you don't want to just click here or go through the comments, feel free to DM me if you have any questions about what we'll be doing. But we will have a great virtual retreat here this evening as a way to kind of reset from the summer chaos into this fall season and set us up for a great last 1/3 of the year. Have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend.